Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is another video and this is an episode of Instagram family reaction. And this is
Mrs. Aderonke Agumbiade.
wow.
Mrs. Ajeni Oluwabukola.
Wow. Alright guys. So my name still remains Irene Tudolu as always, and we actually be talking about some few questions on Instagram that we'll find as mothers that we should talk about. So alright. First question says, good evening, ma'am. My sister-in-law works in a supermarket warehouse and she comes home with foreign expired cereals and drinks that she got at a cheap price, which was usually expensive for kids. And she has told the house help to tell me that I can take some of the cereals for my kids also, which are 2 years plus and 11 months, if I'm interested. I would like to ask other moms if there are any dangers involved in giving kids expired products, because she's looking at it that I have pride.
Okay. You should go first.
You?
And for me, as long as it's expired, it's a no. It's not pride. For me, it's not pride. That's just it. I'll tell the person to, especially when it comes to babies, one should be careful. As long as once it's stale, or even if you just got it, at times you buy some milk and you just see that it's not making sense. For me, it's just say no. Yeah, it's not pride. Just talk it out.
For those that made the product and put the expiry dates, they know that it is no good once it's expired.
Yeah.
How can you take that risk with a child?
A child, not for elder. Because I was like, why will you be thinking it's pride? Like, why will you be giving the expired product? And now tell her if it's okay, if you can give your own child the expired product, because now when the arm comes to the child, everybody is it everybody? The person that gave you the expired product has actually left. She has actually left you on your own, and you call yourself my sister-in-law. Why would my sister-in-law want to harm my own child? Because I've actually sat down and think about it. This is wrong.
There's nothing to think about.
No, why would she be offering an expired product because she got it at a cheaper price? Why can't you give me product that is still valid?
No, that's one thing people over here, even if they are putting interim on that stuff, does not mean that it's expired. It might have a shorter time, but you must consume it before that time. But once that time is over, I can't, and I will never, and I cannot even administer it to my child, even to anybody's child.
Alright, so this question is very funny, but okay. My husband is obsessed with my breast.
Oh.
And it's really becoming annoying as it's been like this since we got married.
Enjoy it.
They are yet to have kids. And it's just both of them in the house. She's currently enrolled for a master's program and she's really busy. But once it's around, she cannot have any me time.
Which me time?
Because she can't be working on her laptop and he is sucking it. It distracts her.
Of course.
She said 2 days ago she had to lock herself up in a room because she had to concentrate and she had deadlines to catch up with. And it became serious issue between them. And it's like she's being selfish. On top the breast though, on top the breast. And saying that's why she's been denying him sex. Even though he knows she's not a sex freak. And she thinks she's been trying her best as it's not easy for me to work, school and take care of the home. Am I not allowed to have a say over my body because I'm married?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, let me say something.
Yeah, you have to say something.
You're married. See, that's the difficult part for a woman.
Yeah.
Once you get married, you don't have a say over your body.
I tell you.
No matter how busy and tired, you've been working since 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Men like sex. They just like we just have to be blunt about it.
Yeah.
They like sex more than people. Okay, I can say few men love sex, but from my perspective, I feel men love sex more than women.
Yeah.
Because women are tired, they're busy from kitchen to kids to your own personal thing. You don't even have time for your own personal. And when it's now that thing, you want to just lie down in bed and very drag by that is when they'll not stretch their hand. Like, man, don't you understand how tired? They don't, as in, their body does not.
They are not wired. They cannot even understand.
Their body can never make them understand. Once they are on their best, I don't even. Sometimes you want to hug your husband. It's
Well,
problem.
This problem.
And from hug, it has started to soft.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just, even if you pretend that you're already sleeping for the past 30 minutes, once they climb that bed, you have to wake up. That's the problem. So there's nothing like me time when it comes to marriage. It's just part of the sacrifice you have to make when we marry. That's just
That's not that you're stuck.
just accept your fate like that. That's
But
just
the day you signed, that was the day you signed your body to.
Yeah.
You signed your body actually.
it's part of the contract. Forever contract. We are in it forever.
Wow.
The thing is, if the person had not put that last phrase, I kind of wanted to say one or
But
two things.
sorry for cutting.
No,
I
no
feel if they can, can they ever even be understanding with a man? Because men just like sex. Because I was going to say, if the man and the woman can just talk about it, like, I'm actually busy trying to just, which one is talking of bread?
Why you on laptop? Hey,
That's a bit extreme. Okay, you want to suck, but I can just let us do this thing when I'm done with my work. Like maybe when we go to bed, you can start the sucking of bed and finish it the next morning. As long as you know, but I'm on the laptop. Let me just concentrate. Then when I'm done, okay, fine.
Wahala.
You're so stressed.
Seriously?
Hey, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny, but she has just said it. But the thing is, we signed our body to her husband, but just that she already said that men can they be understandable. I think over time, I don't know. I watched a movie. I'm not a movie fan, but I watched a movie like the last 2 weeks or there, and that is Botinri. Please, I suggest that every married couples, like with your husband and wife, please watch it so that at least you would understand what women go through to an extent, and just at least it's not as if when nobody is denying you of your right, but at least it says that at least the understanding would increase the understanding a little bit. So now back to the question. The thing is, for this man is on the extreme. I understand that generally men like their wife's breast. They could like to touch it, all of that is sweet, it's nice. But where I now have issues is when even while the lady is busy, and of course we know schooling requires your mental stability. So but the fact that the lady is, at least give her that time, she will never, she can't, the thing is, regardless of how well or how good you know how to read, you can't be reading for 4 hours. So the husband should just sit and say, okay, let me just give her this 4 hours. If you now say, okay, maybe it's now on the extreme, you cannot hold it. If you want to touch it while she's playing, there's some men that, okay, maybe when they just like, when they just sit down, they just like to just be scratching their back while they are doing whatever thing that they, if you want to be reading, and if it's just to just touch, as long as you know that touching the breast will not lead to another thing. But for men, as that, because one of the
touch your legs,
it's another, you can send signal. But if you know, if as the husband, if you know that, okay, you can just be touching the breast, you know why the lady is doing, because for women, for me, even if you are touching, I can be doing other things.
I don't know, this question is a bit sensitive.
For me, if you want to touch, you touch it.
For men, if they can just keep themselves like for instance, if they can just hug a woman, and that hugging will not lead to something.
Yeah,
women don't have problems.
That's what I'm saying.
We all know that men, if it's just to shake them like this,
that shit, you're sensing that. That's what I said. That for me personally, I can see that if you want to touch, be touching. I can be doing what I'm doing. But we lead to another. That's it. So I just want to advise you that this for the fact that the husband knows that this thing it grabs money, they've invested money in the education and all of like a whole lot of things. Yeah, so please just sacrifice that. Let her finish her month. If you now want, like she said, if you want to serve from morning till night, so by the time the baby comes, God will now give you a baby like my Zenita that likes breast. You baby, you and the baby will now be fighting on the breast. You now saying, but
no,
please.
It's not that the husband should tell the wife that the baby will not take breast now.
Says so.
Yes,
it's not. But although somebody once said that he won't allow his wife breastfeed the child, that because he doesn't want the wife's breast to sag, so that the wife should just be doing expressing. But it is well. But men should just temper mercy with justice and justice with we don't mind if the hugging, the kiss, even if it's kissing. Because one of my friends, I sent a broadcast, I think this week, and one of my friends was like, if it's just to just hug or just kiss
and just forget about
no problem. But the thing is, the moment you start,
Does not
You have to
end.
continue.
And they don't like unfinished projects.
Yeah,
You must,
no, yeah.
what you start, you must always finish. Please go to the next question.
Alright, she said she really needs an advice. So she just found out that her husband has a 13-year-old son. Her husband never told her. In fact, before marriage, she had to ask him if he has a child from any woman or if he has been married before. And he said no. She is 30 and her husband is 39. They have been married for 6 years with 2 kids. She was dumbfounded when she found out, gosh, this man betrayed her. Should I confront him? Because he's not aware that she knows now. She's in pains and confused. Should she involve her parents? The boy is with her husband's parents in the village and they are claiming the child is their last born. You know that? This thing is happening. What will happen after they discover she knows about the child? Will they ask the boy to come to his father's house? Because ever since they got married, the boy has not come to where we are based, even to visit. They are really trying hard to hide this secret. The boy even calls my husband brother, and they don't even relate that close. She said you should advise her that she's confused.
I think for me, you don't have to be confused. Although I know it's crazy, but just accept it. As long as it has happened, for me, personally now it has happened. But definitely if I were in...
But the thing is, the husband has not told her.
Yeah,
she just found out.
As long for her to have brought it, so that means if you asked me, that means I find findings or are genuine. So for me, I will talk about it. Definitely, we will talk about it, and I will insist that the guy does a DNA test on that child, even if the parents are saying this is what I want, and I'll prove give them my reasons. And if they insist that it's not his child, it's not his this, it's not his that, I'll tell them, let us run a DNA test. Then if the DNA test now turns negative, not without mago, but for me, I think she should, because it's better, the earlier she accepts that reality, the better for her mental health, than to just accept the child, let her grow without that same. I know it's a betrayal. Is crazy. Like, it's not something one should experience, but the thing is, it has happened. So I would rather live with that reality, but I would find out and establish my findings. And let everybody live happily. And know where is the mother. That's another case. So if the mother is late, oh well and good. And if she's still alive, is she your relationship? Is she in another marriage? Is she doing well? So I know that, okay, there's no threat, there's no stress anywhere. But I will definitely talk about it. I don't need to disturb my brain over that. I will talk about it and even with families, and let's settle it. No fights, nothing else.
Yeah, I understand the perspective you're coming from, but talking about it is actually good for the peace of mind. But at the same time, she's trying to hide it because she's also scared that it might involve the child coming over to her family.
Once she
confronts her husband about it, I think she's deciding to keep it from her husband because they're also trying to hide it from her. They don't want her to know about it. I feel they're hiding it from her out of respect for her. But a 13-year-old child is not if it's a young child, you can say you want to confront your husband about it, and what if it's true, it's okay for the child to come over to your house, but a 13-year-old child, how do you want to start? The child already matured. How do you want to start training that child? Like, it's going to be difficult on your part. Definitely, that's another difficulty on you have to face. Training that child. That's even if the child is even going to accept you and respect you as his mother, your own home. So
that's another mental stress in one corner.
It's a stress on his own. How many years is it going to take her for the child to accept? For the child to accept her as his mom, that's another.
Accept her as his mom and accept
those siblings.
The other siblings might also be difficult. You cannot even trust children of these days. They can decide to harm your child, because I've heard of a situation whereby a teenager was saying because they are stepbrothers, or they thought they were stepbrothers, or the father did DNA test recently. Wow. So the child was telling the nanny that if a 1-year-old child should misbehave, they will lock up the child in a room and beat the child.
Wow.
A teenager, a kid. So a 13-year-old is
no more a kid.
He's no longer a kid. So for me, it's not going to be easy for her to keep that kind of secret since she knows about it, and since the family and the husband are not deciding to tell her anything about it. maybe she just continue living her life and accept
Just
it.
ignore like
Ignore it
anything.
as if she
But the
never
thing is,
did
a time will definitely come that the child will want to, regardless of how many years the child spends outside, the
That's
child
if the
will.
child even knows. Because I feel
Because from the question now,
from the question,
he's
the
calling,
child
he's calling the husband
father
uncle.
uncle. So that means the child might not even know that that's actually his real father.
My sister, I have a, but the difference between this one is just that the child is a girl, and the child was staying with their she thought the grandma was her mother and that she was the last born, not knowing that it was the first female child that gave birth to her. So she was with the grandma till in fact everybody thought the child was for the grandma. Not until now, if you see a picture of her and her mother, you think they are friends. So but it got to a point that they felt she was grown enough to tell them. They told, and funny enough, this lady already remarried to another person, man. In fact, she already had a son. So it got to a point, I think after secondary school, they had to sit that this auntie you are calling, she's your mom. It's like the earlier the better for you. And thank God the husband she married was an understanding man. And there are times she spent, in fact, I think presently she stays with her real mom, which then she has a step brother, stepfather. But I know cases different, but for me, I don't even. But that we just spoke our view. So the person should just use his or her own discretion and just weigh things. If you feel you can talk about it to your husband, I just want the child to be away, fine. If you feel you can welcome the child, fine. And if you feel you just want to delete as if it never happened,
like it never
but just that, be very sure that you won't be jealous unnecessary. Maybe when the man, a time comes, or maybe the one man to send money, or maybe take some responsibility. Because regardless, by the time this child wants to enter schools, grandma will not take the responsibility.
I thought it's the father that would take the responsibility.
Regardless of brother, a whole lot of brother and they still, so just
that's interesting. Thank you so much, mommies. Yes, because we're mommies. Thank you so much, mommies, for your contribution, for your reaction over these few questions that we asked you, because they are actually questions that it might not happen to us directly, it might be indirectly, but at least when questions like this come, we'll be able to post answers or give advice to someone affected. Thank you so much, guys, for watching today's Instagram family reaction. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we are so grateful for our guests, our beautiful guests, our mommies that don't want to go out of town. So it's good to have. It's nice having you people.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, see you guys in the next video. Bye.